Good morning, wrestling fans. Today is Friday, May 12th, 2023. Hope everyone's Friday is going well so far. Tonight we have WWE Friday Night SmackDown on tonight. On its own tonight, no AEW Rampage. Rampage will be airing tomorrow night, 10 p.m. Eastern on TNT. Unfortunately, last night, no new episode of 360 Wrestling Fanatic. I know I slipped up a little bit again, but I'm not going to talk about Impact Wrestling and Ring of Honor on Honor Club this morning, but I think maybe on the next episode of 360 Wrestling Fanatic I might talk a little bit about those two shows. And tonight on SmackDown starts the SmackDown portion of the Raw World Championship Tournament. And this I just have not seen yet, but I do not believe they have announced the superstars that will be competing in the two triple threat matches. Just to go over again though, the rules are, I guess you could call them rules, but the way it's going to work is the same way it did on Raw last Monday night. We have two triple threat matches, and then the winners of those two matches will face off in a singles match later on in the night, and the winner will advance to Night of Champions to face Seth freaking Rollins at Night of Champions for the new Raw World Heavyweight Championship. And like I said, I hope that they have AJ Styles in this, and then have him and Rollins at NOC for the PLE in Saudi Arabia on the 27th. And I'm sure those two will definitely have a great match. And I am a fan of Seth Rollins, but I think in that match, if it is Rollins versus Styles, I'd say my pick would have to be AJ Styles. Between the two, I'd have to say I am more of a fan of his, and I have been talking about recently on the podcast that I would definitely like to see AJ get back into the main event picture once again and possibly have another good run as world champion. And nothing against the OC, the Good Brothers, and Mia Yim, but right now in his career, I would kind of like to see him as more of a singles wrestler rather than be part of a faction, even though he is the leader of that faction. And maybe they could still keep Gallows, Anderson, and Mia Yim together as the OC on SmackDown. If this does happen where AJ Styles moves over to Monday nights to be in this Raw World Championship picture. But still don't know for sure completely how that's going to work out. I'm guessing if they do decide to put someone from SmackDown over that, and they actually do win the title at Night of Champions, that they would move them over to Raw Because that would definitely go against the whole thing that they always say when they do the draft and start with the brand split more, that keeping the brands separate. But as you know, that's what WWE does sometimes. They do this draft and then they try to stay committed to it, and it usually lasts for a little bit, but then they end up coming up with this idea where they want superstars to be on both shows. One time they called it the wild card, and then another time they just called it the Raw and SmackDown Talent Exchange, I think, where each week there could be talent from the other show on one, and then eventually they come up with titles that are defended on both shows. And that's another thing I have talked about recently, is before the men's tag team championships and the women's tag team championships were on both shows, either Raw, SmackDown, and even a couple times they made appearances on NXT. But now with the draft, both tag team champions, the men's and the women's champions, were drafted over to Monday Night Raw. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, and the women's champions Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez as well. Now, both being a part of the same brand, and nothing has been mentioned about that yet, whether they're going to make the tag team titles exclusive to Raw, or if they're still going to have where the tag team champions can go on both shows. And I'm hoping that they won't, but who knows if they decide that they want to come up with separate tag team titles again for Raw and SmackDown. I wouldn't really doubt that if they do. Again, I hope that they do not do that and just have one set of undisputed tag team champions. But it wouldn't really be that bad though, but like I've talked about, the reason they do come out with new championships sometimes is so they can sell the replicas of them. And that's it for this Friday morning episode of GMWF. Thank you everyone for tuning in today, wherever you are, whichever website, whichever app you are listening to on. Remember, you can leave any comments, suggestions, or anything if the website or app has a comment section. Also, if you have a product or a business of any kind and you want to advertise with 360 Wrestling Podcast, you can email me at 360wrestlingpodcast@gmail.com. Just send me a quick email. Maybe we could work something out. Help advertise your company or business or product, whichever you have. And also, if you are a pro wrestler or a promoter and you want to talk about a show you have coming up, feel free to email me. Maybe you can come on the show sometime. 360 Wrestling Podcast at gmail.com. Would love to have you on. Hope to have new episodes of 360 Wrestling Fanatic coming at you soon. and hope everyone has a great Friday today. And until tomorrow for the Saturday episode, keep watching pro wrestling.